All right, I'll do my best to speak as loudly as I can. I'd like to call the March 28th, 2023 School Board Action Meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and after the pledge of allegiance. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Dr. Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Caligiuri.
Here.
Ms. Chatterwit. Here. Mr. Devine.
Here.
Mr. Hill.
Here.
Mr. Sokolsky.
Here.
Mrs. Stepnick.
Here.
Ms. Wetmore. Present. Student Representative, Ms. Price.
Here.
The board met in executive session on March 28th, 2023 to discuss matters of litigation, safety, personnel, and real estate. I'd like to recommend approval of the following minutes as listed below.
Second.
The motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. We have several recognitions tonight. I will turn this over to Dr. Bittner.
Good evening, and thank you to the esteemed Board of School Directors for the opportunity to highlight many of our high school students here this evening. We are very proud of their hard work and accomplishments, and it's my honor to share some of those here with you this evening. But before we begin with the student recognitions, I would like to acknowledge a significant donation to our robotics club. Bots IQ is a manufacturing workforce development program out of the Pittsburgh Chapter National Tooling and Machining Foundation, whose, quote, goal is to provide a pathway for youth to learn about rewarding career options in manufacturing, end quote. Here at Plum Senior High School, our robotics program has a rich history of success in the Bots IQ program, as evidenced by the trophy case outside of the main office, just down the hall. Two former students, Joe and Don Dorfler, are two Mustang alums who participated in robotics here and found a deep passion and love for this type of competition. Joe and Don Dorfler recently competed in, I hope I get this right, the Norwalk Havoc Robot Combat Competition. Is that right? It's a mouthful there.
Yeah.
Okay, Norwalk Havoc Robot Combat Competition in Connecticut, and they won the whole thing. They opted to go to donate more than $60,000 of their winnings to the sustainment of the Plum Robotics program and donated $70,000 to the Bots IQ program. At this time, I would like to publicly recognize this donation to the Plum School Board and community, as well as formally and publicly thank Joe and Don for keeping the dream of robotics alive here at Plum Senior High School. I would like to also acknowledge, recognize, and thank Michelle Conklin, who is the Southwestern PA Bots IQ Executive Director. It is through this partnership that our current and future students for years to come will have the opportunity to thrive in a funded robotics program. At this point, I would like to ask them to join me formally at the podium to be recognized by our board and community and offer for them to say a few words.
See, look around. Yeah, it's hard to wrangle out. It might. No, you're good. I just wanted to say that it's truly an honor to be able to do something like this. If you asked me back in 2016 when I graduated that I'd have the opportunity to do this, I'd say you're lying. through NHRL, this isn't possible. I mean, to win competitions like this without the side of NHRL, you win maybe like $200 and like gift certificates or anything like that. But with a STEM donation like this, it's massive. It's it's breathtaking, really. And when I set up the donation alongside with Michelle, with her help, one main focus was keeping the longevity of the club together. Both my brother and I, Don, been in the club. He graduated in 2012. I was graduated in 2016. And, we just have a love and passion for the club just in general. A few things that the club has done for us over the years, obviously this, and then moving on after college, or high school, obviously, doing competitions outside of high school, and then leading us to Vegas, which is BattleBots. So right now, currently, there is a season on Discovery airing right now, and we compete with a robot that weighs 250 pounds. That's a version of that. It is very expensive, and we were out there for 2 weeks in October. Right now, we're throughout the season, 3-0 right now. Our next match is end of April, I believe, April 20th, 8 o'clock on Discovery Channel. And yeah, I mean, these past 5 or 6 months have been great, absolutely wild. But, I also want to say that a lot of our skills didn't just come from this club. They came from our father as well. So notice our name, Boots Robotics. Our father unfortunately passed away in 2018, and he was a big institution for us with robotics just in general. Him and my mom, they would always come after school, help us, no matter what. They would always be there for us, especially Dawn and I, always wondering like, what's going on, what can we do to help? And as a kid, I was always, get out of here. I just wanted to by myself. After my dad passed away, I really reflected on like how that impacted me as a person. So part of the donation is one who's in honor of my father as well. So, good job.
Yes, sir.
Now, few words.
Thank you all. Boss IQ has had a long-standing relationship here with Plum. Lots of success, not only during the time of the door clerks, but even currently with the program. It continues to grow. This is an amazing opportunity that the door clerks are providing to the school. We went through a big spending round buying things as simple as tools and equipment for the school to use to build their robots, as well as larger purchases like 3D printers that are not only engaging with students in great opportunities to build for their bots, but really great opportunities for their future. And that's what Bots IQ is all about. The Dorflers are a great example of why we are here. They went on to post-secondary after finishing Plum, completing their degrees, and both work in industry, and that's what we're here to support, is trying to find a pathway for young adults like them that sparks an interest for them and creates a future. And the future is certainly bright for these two, as well as many young adults that come through Plum's high school robotics team. So we're honored to continue this partnership for many years to come. But it's truly amazing what has happened and what is happening here at Plum. So kudos to you guys. A great educational institution for sure. So thank you.
We put the robot and trophy in the middle.
And I just want to say that I know your parents. I've had the good luck of knowing your parents, and I know they're both so proud of you. So thank you.
Yeah, and if I could, it's just one of the things that happened as a result of the women winning is that they selected the Plum Mustang Foundation through Havoc to receive a $5,000 grant award, which is being passed on to the school district for STEM programming. So the board will be voting on that next month. So their accomplishments keep going. So it's an awesome accomplishment. Thank you so much.
You guys want to go around?
I'll tell you, how about we come up around here and then you can do it
And I-
on that.
And I just want to know how you feel that so easily. Almost fell over. Yeah.
And next, we're moving on to our winter sports athletes. We're gonna first start with our bocce ball team, Coach Gina Duffel and Coach Maddie Scott. All right.
So here are a few of our bocce team members that made it here tonight. We made a quick little PowerPoint. That was our first match against Norwin. We were very welcome. So in our first year, we were able to recruit 16 Mustangs. We formed 2 teams, 8 athletes and partners on a team, and one of our teams made it to the playoffs. Woo! We had a senior night, and we had 8 seniors graduating this year. And moving forward, 4 of those athletes will be pursuing a career in education. Part of being a unified sport through Special Olympics, we had to fundraise money and go down to the polar plunge. So there you can see there was about 9 of us that went down. There was about 7 of us that plunged into the freezing pool. Yeah, it was fun.
All right, and we just want to first off say thank you to administration for getting us involved in the sport. And more importantly, thank you to the athletes and the parents. We definitely couldn't have done it without you. And all the amazing volunteers that stepped up and made our senior night and every game super special. So thank you for everybody. And then we are not done yet. Save the date for the 2nd annual Special Olympics event. It'll be May 3rd. Woo-hoo! Yeah. It will be here at Plum Senior High School, and we've expanded this year to inviting Elizabeth Forward, Gateway, Norwin, Kent Hills, Plum, and Riverview. So we're very a few of our volunteers, Sven, he came to senior night and dressed up in one of the costumes. Thank you, Sven, for that. Jody, one of our seniors who's going on to education. And McGrath, who will be back next year. Melissa Maxey. Ken Seeger. Riley O'Toole. Veronica Merritt.
You all want to do a little spin and stay as a group so your parents can take pictures? Stand up. We should stay in the picture. If you want to take your please go to Brewster.
Sorry, I want to hear the good names.
So I am Haley. I submitted to Edinburgh University. I'm going to pursue our early childhood education and special education. And I'm going to throw across next steps.
Nice.
Next up is swimming, and Coach Hawk would like to come to the podium, please.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having us and giving us a couple minutes to acknowledge our wonderful student athletes and all the success that we have each season. So it means a lot to me to share this with you. I am going to call them up individually, but before that, I do want to mention these ladies. What a fantastic season that we had. 11-1 record, which we haven't seen something like that in 30 years. So fantastic all-around team effort there. Second is effective. Ended second in the section, and we ended with 9 WIFIL qualifiers. And those are the individuals that I will be bringing up here with me today. So, in no particular order, we have Juliana Raschuti. This year, Juliana actually made every event for WIFILs with the exception of breaststroke. She opted to swim the 100 back and the 200 free, and was also part of our 200 and 400 free relays. Brooke Price. Brooke, wonderful freshman addition to our team this season. She qualified for the 100 backstroke and was also part of our medley relay. Amelia Faust. So Amelia qualified for the 50 freestyle this year and was part of our 200 and 400 free relays. Yeah, shooting. So Nina this year qualified for multiple events. She opted to do the 50 freestyle and then also swam in all 3 of our relays at WIFILs this season. Haley Smith. Haley Smith qualified for the 100 breaststroke this year and was also part of our medley relay. Charlotte Faust. Charlotte is a fantastic addition as a freshman this year. Played a major part in that 11-1 record. She was a first alternate for all of our relays, so in case something happens, she was ready to go at all times, and next year she'll be a major player for sure. Dawn Massey. Freshman edition this year. Dawn was a participant in our medley relay and our 200 free relay at our camp. And Reese Scully. Reese this year qualified individually in the 200 IM and 100 fly. Hunsinger, also a freshman, she qualified in the 200 freestyle and was also part of our 400 free relay. So, I want to mention, while we were with you, really fantastic meet, quite honestly. We had 5 top 8 finishes, which lands you on the podium. That's, in my time, has not happened. So fantastic, performance for everybody. So just to say real quick, 200 medley relay was 8th place. So that was Brooke, Kaylee, Dawn, and Nina. The 200 free relay, which was Juliana, Nina, Dawn, and Amelia, they ended 6th place. They actually also set a school record while doing so and qualified for the state championship in Bucknell, where they ended 25th in the state. So it's super good relay. We also had a 400 free relay of Nina, Delaney, Amelia, and Juliana, and was 7th place overall. And we had 2 individual qualifiers that ended up on podium there. Juliana was 7th in the 200 free, and Nina was 7th in the 50 free. So a lot of fun opportunities.
And Nina's our senior?
Nina is our lone
Tell
senior,
me what
yes.
you're doing.
Here. As of now, I'm between 2 schools. If I decide to continue my swim career, I will be attending St. Vincent College, and if I do not, I will be attending Duquesne University.
Parents can take pictures.
Dawn was in the 400 free relay as well. My fault.
Oh, wait, we open it?
Good job, ladies.
Up next, we have girls wrestling and Coach Miller.
I'm here to represent the girls wrestling team. I want to thank you guys for voting on the girls wrestling team. To have one at Plum High School. It's the first year of girls wrestling. And they really did a real good job. They wrestled collectively in over 130 matches. They had over 500, they won over 500, over half the matches. We wrestled in a scrimmage, 5 tournaments, 2 gold meets, placed in every tournament they wrestled in. In our regional tournament, there's over 30 teams, and we placed in the top 10. So that's not bad for a first-year program. So I'd like to call the girls up one at a time real quick. Starting with our 8th graders. Because it was an unsanctioned sport, we were able to have 8th graders participate on the high school team, which was nice. So they'll have 5 years of varsity wrestling. So first up is Haley Linebacker. We have Addison Clausen. Sophia Davis. Maddie Tillmeyer. Pickett. Now we've got a little bit. Team had to work. She's a hard worker. She's even working out. Oh, she's here. I got her. Thank you for that. And then we have our 3rd place state place winner, Elena Clausen. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for starting the girls' team. I think they had a real good time. I'll 8 of them back next year. Two of them were 8th graders, 4 freshmen, and 2 juniors. So they'll all be back next year, and I'm looking to add. They're looking to add to the roster too. Trying to beat the hallways. It's hard to talk to girls in a wrestle. And half the girls I tried to were they all placed in swimming. So we're working at it.
Okay, next we have boys wrestling and Coach Supak.
Good evening, thank you for having us. We had a very exciting year. We went 15-3, it was the first year we won sections in 30 years. We also were the first time we won the Allegheny County tournament. I think it was also the first time in 30+ years that we qualified 10 wrestlers to the regional championships. I'm just gonna call the wrestlers out now, and then we can talk about them later. Ryland Campbell. Andrew Clausen. Harlan Campbell. Antonino Walker. Joey. Jack Cardle. Fred Reese. One of the other guys are at their practices right now, so we just got back. So far up here, these are all Whitfield qualifiers, or they are also on the PA All Academic Team, or the National Wrestling Coaches Association All Academic Team. That's why we chose these guys to represent us. Right? We only have one senior up here right now, and of the 10 that qualified for the Whitfield Championships, we only have one senior. So we have a strong court going back. Thank you for having us.
With our senior. Well, let us know what you're doing next year.
Hello, I'm Andrew Clausen. I'll be attending Waterloo University in the fall for national junior.
I'm gonna turn around for a photo op with your parents there. Next is girls basketball is Coach Maul.
I'd like to thank our board and administration for recognizing us. We really appreciate it. This year we had 7-game improvement over last year. We qualified for the playoffs and won a preliminary round playoff game against 1-4. It's been a while since Plum Girls have won a playoff game, not including the COVID year. So that was definitely a step in the right direction. We had started the season with 21 girls, and we ended with 21 girls. So our numbers were good, participation is good, and we had enough girls to field a JV and varsity team, which believe it or not all teams can do that. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. We want to keep the numbers up, keep as many girls involved as we can. This year we had 2 seniors. They were Cameron Rogers and Danica Susko could not be here tonight, but she's our other senior. Next, we have, junior Pascal Oldat. Sophomore Tatum Oldat. Sophomore Josephine Schuley. Sophomore Danielle Pesey. And last but not least, Serena Carnahan. Good band for the musical, so she was running it. I think that's where she.
Yes, that's what it is.
So, not only did these girls do a great job on the court, but also in the classroom. These kids are a pleasure to work with. They're excellent students. It was a really enjoyable season. Thank you.
I'm gonna be attending Gettysburg College, and I'm gonna be running track and playing soccer.
And so I just want to turn around and let your parents get a picture. Coach, you're not getting in there?
Okay. Getting in there.
Up next, we have our boys and girls bowling team, Coach Pellet.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darrell Phillick. I'm the coach of the high school bowling team. First thing I would like to do is thank the board for granting us varsity status for next season. On my right is Bob Small. He's the major coach for the boys. Ty Kirkpatrick couldn't be here tonight, and Rich Grilly's tied up also. Rich works with basically the newer bowlers, helping them to move on to get better every week. And he's doing a fantastic job with them, as you can see by our results. I'd like to introduce the boys from the bowling team. First one is sophomore Kate Shimmer. Senior captain Sean Endler. Zach Endler. Freshman Grayson Coons. Sophomore Vince Rossetti. Junior Joshua Cooley. Freshman Daniel Van Syok. Freshman Grayson Bias Rasco. Robin Frog. And for the girls, junior captain Mariana Pillick. Junior Jordan Oshie. Junior Rebecca Griffin. Junior Riley Gratton. Sophomore Bobby Mealy. Freshman Addison Benton. Freshman Alexandria Fulmer. Both the boys and the girls teams had outstanding seasons, starting with winning their sections. The girls team went undefeated, did not lose a match all year. They went up, they didn't even lose a game this year. The boys team also won their section. They both moved on to the Whitfield Championships and Regionals by winning a section. Both teams bowled in the Bearcat Classic at St. Vincent College in January. The boys team finished fourth and the girls team finished second. During the season, on the boys side, Kate Shimmer won MVP of the section. It had high average with a 208 average for the section. It was named All WPIBL second team. Season here, he had the second high average of the section with a 204, and Sean Endler had third high average with a 202. The WPIBL Singles Championship. Defended it for Plum High School. Nick Daniels won it last year. Also had the second high game in the WPIBL this year with a 286 game. Two boys that qualified for singles at states that made it to states. That was Grayson Coates. He finished 12th at regionals, and Sean Endler, who won the Western Regional Championship. Team finished second at the WPIBL Championships. They also moved on to states. So they moved the regionals first. At regionals, they are the champions of Western Regionals for the WPIBL bowling this year. Finished eighth. The girls were led by junior captain Mariana Pillick. She had high average in the entire WPIBL for the season with a 217 average. She was a section MVP and also the MVP of the entire WPIBL. She was also first team all WPIBL. Had high series with a 731 and second high game with a 279. These were just some of the highlights. If anybody wants a list, I had already sent them to Becky Dolman. She has a copy, or you can call me or whatever, and I'll send you a copy of all their accomplishments this season. I want to thank you very much for your kind recognition to recognize the bowling teams who have had one outstanding season. Thank you.
Season as a senior on the team, you want to tell us what you're doing next year?
Yeah, I'm going to Penn State, Maine, and I'm going to major in turf grass hockey.
Turn around and maybe get enough, I don't know, you can fit everyone into your picture.
No, paper.
Jen, they've been posting a lot of pictures this year.
Yours is upside down. I didn't check to make sure.
I see bacon. We never see her. He goes to the gym coordinator.
Did you do that?
All right, this time, let's comment on agenda item.
If there's anybody in the audience that wants to make a comment on an agenda item, we ask that you step to the podium and state your name. Minutes to speak. Just a reminder, this is the time to share your thoughts and comments rather than a Q&A session with the board. Please address the presiding officer directly, and then when you're finished, please print your name on the clipboard so I spell it correctly in minutes. Any comments at this time?
Moving on to the agenda president's report. We will celebrate this month. The month started off with Read Across America Week. Each school and district celebrated in their own way, and we were able to get our kids very excited about reading. I once knew about Ireland Thunder, but I know he was invited into one of our younger classrooms to read to one of our elementary student classes. Dr. Anderson is not giving a report this month, so I did clear this with her, and I'm not going to give you her material. And after listening to all the accolades, I don't have everything listed here that we just heard, but trying to quick recap. Girls basketball team won their play-in game into the first round of the Whitfield playoffs. Both of our bowling teams won their sections. Our girls bowling team made it into the championship match, bringing home the Western Regional title. Our wrestling teams, both boys and girls, had success at both the team level and many on the individual level. As we just heard, many individual and team athletes on our girls swim team. And last and certainly not least, the Plum's Unified Bocce team in their inaugural season qualified for the postseason and took home the silver medal in the divisional playoffs. Congratulations, all, a great season and the job well done. Holiday Park Intermediate School collected pop tabs for the Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh. As a school, they were able to collect 33.75 gallons of tabs. Collecting these tabs, the Ronald McDonald House turns them in for recycling, and they are turned into money for the Ronald McDonald House Family Fund. This fund provides meals and items for families, assistance in emergencies, and gives the families different special moments. Plum was on this past weekend's episode of Hometown IQ. Congratulations to Nate Benanati, Alex Miller, and Alex Taylor as they won and move on to the next round. The next show we will be competing on will be April 3rd, so good luck to those boys. And good luck to all of our athletes as spring sports kick off. We're excited to watch our seasons unfold as you represent Mustang Nation over the next several weeks. The high school will be performing the spring musical this coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is Fiddler on the Roof. Tickets are still available and can be purchased at pbsdmusical.ticketleap.com. We hope to see you there. And that is all I have for the moment. Moving on to superintendent's report.
So we really need to talk with each other and talk about what's in each other's reports sooner rather than later. So I have a very, very brief report, and it just got briefer, if that's a word. I'll skip to, if you do have the opportunity, get out and see the play. Those kids and the adults who help those kids put that play on, it's an awful lot of hard work, and they're very talented kids. So if you have an opportunity to go out, please go out and support those kids. If you can get out there every night, that would be great. So spring break is Friday, April 7th through Sunday, April 16th. Because of the break, the April board discussion meeting will occur next Tuesday on the 4th. So we're coming right after one another in the meetings. Our team is excited to share our recommendations to the board about the new and exciting resources that will be recommended for the Fine Arts Department next week. I think you will be impressed with the resources that are being recommended and how those recommendations accentuate the importance of the fine arts in our district. It's hard to believe that there are only 36 days of school left for our students this year. That's right, I said 36. There are many, many school events that are going to be going on during April and May. So please check the district calendar, get out there and support all the kids because they're doing some really wonderful things. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Devine.
Thank you. Moving along, student representatives report.
Thank you. Tonight, I would like to start with some student feedback. So I've received lots of positive feedback about the new allotted parent use parties in the 2023-2024 student handbook. Many students occasionally have circumstances outside of their control sometimes that cause them to be late to school. It is these students who are grateful for the ability to have their occasional parties excused. Now on to some activity updates. The March Mustangs of the month are seniors Sadie Elliott, Margaret Messina, Justin Murtich, and Alexander Taylor. Juniors Xander Piper and Mia Ruggiero. Sophomores Casey Kinlove and Sunnis Mendeles. And teacher John DeLuce. Plum Senior High School's prom will be held at the Omni William Penn Hotel on May 12th from 6 to 10. This year's theme is Masquerade. Tickets will cost $75 per single or $150 per couple and can be purchased after school on April 3rd, 5th, and 19th. Finally, spring sports are well underway. Boys and girls lacrosse, track and field, girls softball, boys baseball, and boys volleyball are having great starts to their season. All I have.
Thank you. Personnel, Dr. Anderson, the board liaison, recommend approval to accept and resolve the following 1 to 6 as listed.
On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passes. Dr. Anderson, anything to report?
No, you're good, Mr. Devine. Thank you.
Student achievement and activities, Dr. Anderson, the board liaison, recommend approval to accept and resolve the following 1 to 10 as listed.
On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passes. Anything to report here?
No, I would just say, Mr. Devine, that just like you did, I would just echo what an awesome night it was. And I was so bummed I couldn't be there to watch all of our students get recognized. But also just the excitement for spring sports to have started and for the importance too of the coaches, right? And that we have great coaches who are working with our athletes and just really appreciate them as well.
Thank you. Safe and supportive schools, Mr. Adams, the board liaison, anything to report tonight?
I do have a report. First off, Dr. Walsh and she kind of met with Jim Sims, he's the Plum Emergency Management Coordinator, and Bob Gerlach of Allegheny County Emergency Services on March 30th. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss scheduling tabletop drill exercises to test one or more of our emergency response protocols. The tabletop drill has been scheduled for June 1st. The district admin team, Plum Police, Fire Department, and Plum EMS are all expected to participate in the drill. Mutual assistance group has been established by Allegheny County Intermediate Unit. The Plum Borough School District will be participating, one of the districts participating. The aim of this group is to provide mutual assistance in the form of personnel and resources during a crisis. And by the end of the month, all K through 12 buildings will have completed the required severe weather drills and school bus evacuations. And just a final note, there's things going on this week in the country. To our police, first responders in the district, thank you. Those are going nuts with you. So, thanks.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, Ms. Charwitz, the board liaison, recommend approval to accept and resolve the following budgetary items 1 to 3 as listed.
On behalf of the board, I make that recommendation. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstained? Just not abstaining from the line of paycheck. Any motion passes. Anything to report tonight?
I just have a quick report. As others have noted, kudos to all the wonderful student athletes for a wonderful season and to the generosity of the two, Joe and Dawn, who for their generous donation to ensure the Plum Robotics team has a future along with the Boss IQ is really exciting to see. And I know that you'll have a great career, whatever you chose to do, but it's really great to see that you give back to the schools. Since last board meeting, there were some questions regarding where you could find some financial resources. I just figure I'd give a quick refresher on where you can find that information. If you go to the website, our website under Departments, Finance, you'll see the various tax discount programs available. And they give a highlight of the tax, what they are, and the hyperlinks are attached to them. And just to reiterate that the Homestead Act letters have been mailed to all eligible homeowners who haven't already taken advantage of the Homestead Act previously. And the Finance Department continues to work diligently on personnel and departmental budgets. And that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Facilities and Operations, Mr. Hill, the board liaison, recommends approval to accept and resolve the following 1 to 2 as listed.
Yeah, the board will make that recommendation.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passed. Any report? Forbes Road CPC, Mr. Hill, the board liaison, anything to report?
They had open house on the 16th, and over 200 in attendance, so we could turn out. For the city of the next year, everyone's going to basically register. So we should sign up now. Well, you go well.
Thank you. Intergovernmental, myself, the board liaison, we have had some scheduling conflicts and not been able to meet yet. We are trying to schedule something in the next few weeks. So again, if you have anything you'd like me to bring to the council, let me know. And hopefully we'll all have a report for next month. Legislative, Mrs. Stepnick, the board liaison, anything to report to me?
I do, and there's no definitives on anything that I'm reporting on because it's more of a discussion around the table and stuff. I was also a part of the AIU forum. I took a lot of notes, and a lot of it was truly a good discussion with very bipartisan effort. Our elected officials for our district unfortunately weren't able to make it, but I do think that we got a good idea as to what the large question is, right? What do we do with the state Supreme Court ruling with the fair funding and how does that work? And many different ideas were passed around the table. They know that they've been charged with a task and I take it very seriously. There was no solution. So I truly believe nothing will happen in this session, but I do think that they have to work for it and work through it. And a lot of social topics were discussed. And truly, a lot of the conversation all about money, right? It's all budget. How is that? And I will say, I want to highlight something we haven't talked about in this district in a long time. A couple things. One was PlanCon. We all know that we have building projects in the PlanCon pipeline that we should be getting funding for. We don't get funding for some of them. And they talked about sort of what went wrong with the state with that. And Senator Costa actually brought up one of his legislative priorities is the safety of buildings and the environment of that building. Yes, we all have our police officers and other things, but really what's at stake in the building, it's the environment, the learning environment that these kids are in some of the schools. So I would say here in Plum, we're very fortunate. We don't have those situations, and we should be grateful. But there's a lot of places around the city that would like to go forward with their plan, and they're not. So how do we fund that? What does that look like as well, to make sure every student is in a safe school environment? And another thing we talked about to some level was cyber charter reform. And there seems to be that there may be bipartisan conversation for the first time in a long time happening about what that should look like. And how special ed should be tiered and a variety of things. And because that might be a large part of the answer for this reform. I think I've summarized as best I can.
Thank you.
What?
Yes, it was. I sort of locked
Moving on, policy, Mr. Caligiuri, lead board liaison, recommend approval to adopt the new and revised policies 1 to 4 as listed below.
On behalf of the board, I'll make that recommendation.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Then the report tonight.
Nothing to report.
Equity and inclusion, Ms. Wetmore, lead board liaison, anything to report tonight?
I do. I have a brief report. First, I will mention, as Mrs. Spetman noted, I did attend the AIU legislative forum. And I think one of the things I was happy to hear was that there seems to be consensus around the fact we might actually see some movement on the cyber charter situation in the state as a direct result of the mandate to fix our funding. And then I also attended the AIU's DEI conference on Saturday, and I was impressed by the quality of presentations, and I'm excited to be sharing a fantastic resource with our administration. I got to hear Corporal Aaron Allen of the Pennsylvania State Police speak, and he does pre-outreach to both schools and community as part of their programming. He belongs to the Heritage branch, which focuses on investigating hate crimes in the state of Pennsylvania. He was really a dynamic speaker, and I think he would be very impactful for our students to meet and hear him talk. The highlight for me was the keynote address given by actress Ava Rain, who played the lead in the Netflix movie Anything's Possible, which was produced by Pittsburgh's own Billy Porter, and it was filmed right here, mostly during lockdown. And so it highlights a lot of the great features of our hometown, and it addresses a wide range of topics from generational differences to transgender issues to the everyday ups and downs faced by our kids in today's world. And like I said, it does it all against the under backdrop. It's a little confusing. They're hips in the conservatory feeding birds, which we all know happens to be aviary, but that's okay. We'll play along. And then I just wanted to make mention that while I was at the conference this Saturday, I had the opportunity to just sit with Mr. Aaron Skirvin, who's the Director of Safety and Security at the AIU. And during the course of our conversation, he told me that he wanted me to know that our district is a model of what safety should look like, and that it pertains not only to physical safety of our kids, but also the mental and emotional piece. And I can't emphasize enough what that means, as he consults with over 43 districts in our region, and he feels that we are a model of what should be happening in these schools. So my sincere thanks to our administration, our officers, our mental and behavioral health professionals, and our entire team for coming together as a cohesive team and making it not only a physically safe environment, but one that our kids can feel secure walking down the hall. You know,
So one more I may add, the state trooper that was responsible for the hate crime, I went and heard him speak at safety, and we've already talked. Yeah, so we talked with him in October. I think it was in October when we had that, and he was a fantastic speaker, very, very knowledgeable about crimes that are going on in the area. But I also want you to know, I asked Officer Hannah to reach out. They've already had discussions.
That's awesome.
So
That's awesome. And I think he'd be a great resource for students.
very, very, very good speaker.
Yeah, he shared some interesting stories of his experiences in districts and his crimes that had been experienced and how he addressed and handled the situation with students. And I think he makes the most of a learning opportunity. So.
And no one's going to mess with you.
No, he is an interesting individual, and if you hear his backstory, yeah, he didn't come by policing in the normal path. So I encourage anyone who has the opportunity for both having observation.
All right, thank you. Community engagement, outreach and development, Ms. Stepnick, the board liaison, and community report tonight.
Just a couple things. PTO Council is working through our 4 elections and getting ready for next year. And thank you, Mr. Manager, for working with us on the concession stand and getting some things going and operational. I'm excited for this personally, because I get to talk about all the fun things I get to do in a public, my own job. We also have the job fair, where, many people throughout the community and in various careers will be coming to the high school at the end of April. I don't know if the signups are done. If they are, look for the next one, because I think it's gonna be a really great program, to be able to come to present and spend that morning with students, and really tell them what's out there, what the career opportunities are. And then, last but not least, we were able to secure the additional funding for the remaining, little bit that was used for the signs, so we are moving on.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the floor to citizens' comments on non-agenda items.
Anyone in the audience that wanted to make a comment on a non-agenda item, we just ask you to step to the podium, state your name, your address within Plum. You'll have 5 minutes to speak. Whenever you're finished, we'll just have you put your name on the clipboard so that I spell it correctly for the minutes. Any comments at this time? Mr. Devine?
Thank you. Upcoming public meetings, we have a board discussion meeting next week on Tuesday, April 4th, at 7 o'clock here in the library. And then move forward action meeting on Tuesday, April 25th at 7 o'clock, also here in the library. And at this time, I'd like to call the meeting adjourned. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion is second.